Hello and welcome to How to Wind Your Wife Up. How to paint this little vampire. Being that this was the third time I tried painting this little model, I thought that throwing caution into the wind and painting it with inks would be a good idea. However, after a few coats of ink, I started to notice some little layer lines, and as I wasn't going to clean this model again, I thought I'd just forge forward with a new technique. Seeing as my original idea was to lay thin coats of ink to build up the colours and contrasts, and blend the highlights and shadows nice and smoothly, I decided instead to throw a thick coat of ink on for the shadows and then airbrush some acrylics on top in the hope that that would fill in all the little layer lines. So with the purple ink laid down first, I decided to go for a lifeless looking skin. So I mixed a light bluish grey colour and sprayed on all the mid-tone areas. Or basically I held the model at 90 degrees and sprayed, leaving the shadows behind, and followed it up by spraying a white ink from directly above, and with more luck than skill I got a nice smooth blend. Now I do have 2 hours worth of footage for painting the eyes, but none of it was in focus. But I suck at painting eyes, so they're as good as they're gonna get. And after using a red and white to paint the mouth and teeth from the horrible Citadel pots, I went back on track to use the inks again. After testing it on one of my fingernails, I decided it might look better if I tested it everywhere else. And whilst cleaning it, I discovered that it also dries extremely fast. So now with my new mental note to make sure the lid is always screwed on before I do anything else, I thought it might be a good idea to actually apply it to the model. Now inks are very translucent, so although being a metallic paint it did require 3 coats, but still showed the initial zenithal highlight underneath. Whilst forgetting I was only going to use inks for this figure, I painted her jewellery using a Citadel gold paint, and also used the other colours in a starter set for all the other small little details. Now this may have been intentional, because I am fully aware that inks are very fluid-like, and however much I love them, they're not very good for small details. From this point I decided to carry on with the inks again, and used a raw sienna for the whip and a magenta colour for her hair. I cannot stress how careful you have to be when applying this, because if you accidentally touch something else, it will pull the ink off of the brush, and they instantly stain any surface they touch. Now normally after finishing a model, it would be time to crack out the pot of skill. However, I much prefer a wash using a burnt umber ink and applying it carefully, unlike the Citadel washes. With my silver pearlescent ink, I painted the tips of the whip, as well as highlighting the edges of the goblet with the red liquid inside. I did promise myself I wouldn't use enamels or oils for this project. However, after looking at the model, it still looked a little bit flat to me. So I used the AK enamels to make a little pin wash to help define the shadows and give the model a little bit more contrast. Now just about every video and tutorial I've watched, and manufacturers' websites and product guides I've read, tell you to apply a varnish on top of the acrylic paints to make sure that you protect your paintwork. Now I'm fairly unsure why I didn't bother doing this, and only realised I hadn't done it seeing as my varnishes were still out and not in their right place, but only after I'd already applied the enamel wash. I figured what could go wrong if I just threw white spirits at the model. Turns out you don't need to varnish your model if you're careful. Everything came out fine. For the base I decided to go back to the Citadel pots and try the wet blending technique. This involves throwing down some paint, and before it dries, slapping on the next paint over the areas you'd like, whilst mixing it to the previous paint, making sure not to cover all of it. This is simply followed with the following colour, whilst working higher and higher, leaving some of the previous colours behind. If you work quickly and some of the layers still have some stark lines, it can be easily covered using one of the paints and blending the 2 different colours together. And to make sure I didn't feel like I was cheating, I used a bright yellow ink to apply highlights to the small little flames on the candles. Seeing as I hadn't used a wet palette for this entire project, I just decided to dump some paint onto the base and spread it over to save digging out my wet palette. And as I was actually painting the base at the same time as the figure, I used the same burnt umber wash on the skull and also the base, making sure I did a sloppy job, leaving pools of paint everywhere I could, as it would dry transparent and create little fake shadows. To dry brush the base, I moistened the brush a tiny bit, got some paint, and before using the kitchen towel, realised it would be better to use the dry brush palette I made. Now it is impossible to use inks for dry brushing, so I wouldn't recommend using them for that. And I'd just say, just trust me on that. After making sure none of the dry brushing was in focus, it was time to carefully remove the model from the base, and after using super glue, it's time to call this done. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching and have fun.